CJ is back, and with the new skills that they put on him to make him a Smite commander, we tested the heck out of him just to see how it worked, and it's gonna surprise you like crazy. Bertrand, on the other hand, no go. So stick around as we take the new updates with the new commanders, or the revamped commanders, and we tell you all about it. Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chatsky, and I make videos all the time. Constantly making videos, constantly trying to give you the best rock application I can for your game, for your account, and do the best we can to help you be a better player. Okay, and if you like the videos that we do or the streams, I've been very busy lately, you can throw a thumbs up on here, trying to get you guys as much content as possible. It helps out the channel to like these things, and then if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. It doesn't cost you anything, and at the same time, it really bolsters and pushes the channel forward. We're well over 32,000 subscribers now. We have a great $1,000 team tournament we're doing on May 23rd. We're doing that to celebrate the 30,000 subscribers. And if you're not a member of our Discord, check out the link in the description to Discord, join our community, and we got a big update, obviously. We got a very big update. Now, when we got this thing, we kind of looked at this and we knew that they were going to do a revamp on Bertrand and CJ. And so we go through this and we started looking at it. Okay, and what's interesting about CJ, it gives us another bona fide Smite commander. And so what did we do? We went and tested it. We went to try to figure it out. So let's just go through CJ real quick and what he's got. I've almost got this dude expertise, so I've never had him expertise, and honestly, anybody that had him expertise regretted it forever. But if you do, all of a sudden now you've got some things to play with here. So let's look at this, okay? Overall, he does a 3-target AoE. This is totally changed. This is a smite damage. It's up to 1,500, and of course it gets nerfed for each additional target you hit after you hit the target. If you are pouncing on a march that's got less than 30% of units remaining, so their HP bar is less than 30%, you're gonna silence it for 1 second. Okay, so that's cool. A little 1 second silence, that works out really well. You come over here, it's just straight raw stats. 15% march speed, that's okay. Not great, not awful, but it's okay. 40% attack, okay, that might work out pretty well. Now you got to remember, now with the new KVK crystal tech, now this is going to be in Heroic Anthem on the remastered event of Heroic Anthem KVK. They have a new crystal tech tree, and when you look at that tree, all of a sudden attack bonuses become a little bit more valuable because you don't get near as much attack like you used to before in the past. On the third skill, this commander's troop is on the map whenever it takes skill damage, smite damage, or combo damage. So basically any red numbers that you see, it has a 50% chance to reduce that damage by 50%. That is an awesome mitigation. If you're going to hit me with a Huo and the 2,700 damage factor, if you're going to hit me with an Arthur 2,800 damage factor, if you're going to hit me with something that's bringing 24, 25, 27, 2,800 damage factor, you want to mitigate that as much as possible. And a high probability on that. Now, I don't like the cooldown on this, but this definitely is a cool little mechanism to really help mitigate the damage you take for big smite, for big skill damage, for big combo damage. It's really good, okay? And when you come into his fourth skill, it deals 15% more normal damage, okay? I think that's one thing to kind of consider. Deals 15% more normal damage, and whenever he launches a basic attack on a field troop, it has a 100% chance to cleanse one debuff from itself. We ran this, and it was just bringing the stacks down while Herman was trying to ramp them up. It was absolutely crazy what we were seeing there. And so this does have some effect. It affects, obviously, those poison stacks. It affects different things. When you have any kind of a debuff put on you, like if you get a CPO debuff of health, it's going to cleanse that. It's going to cleanse that. And so from that standpoint, it is really good how this works. Now, here's where it kind of gets a little bit nuts. If you have the expertise, if this commander's troops on a map take skill damage, okay, now you reduce that damage by 50%. That we talked about, a 50% chance to reduce it by 50%, and then it's going to deal AoE smite damage to 3 enemy targets at 500 apiece. Now, this cooldown's 10 seconds, so you basically get this probably every other skill cycle. So this goes off pretty often, because it's got a 50% probability, but the cooldown's 10 seconds. However, that's starting to creep into enough damage, okay? You're getting yourself to enough damage that it's really, really going to help CJ. And so with that being said, we started saying, okay, well, what can we use CJ for? How can we go through this? And we literally were going through some of the things on this particular arc that we did a custom arc. We kitted out the Luces, we kitted out all the different things. This is Moles fighting against Addy, and Moles has got CJ, as you can see. Addy's fighting with Alex. It's a 1v1, and the CJ is just crushing it. Okay, let me skip ahead to some of these other ones. We're doing it again. It's great. Then they run a 3v3. Watch this. The CJ, it's the same 3 marches, except you have CJ sitting behind Luce, and you have Alex sitting behind Luce over here. Watch what this thing does. So we're looking at the ones in blue. Blue has the Luce with CJ, and watch what it does. Just melts. Okay. Melts the LC Alex, then it focuses the BQ William. The Ragnar's still alive over here, and then it hammers the Ragnar. It didn't matter if it was 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. You make all things constant except you change the Luce CJ with the Luce Alex, and the Luce CJ won every single time. It was incredible to see how this thing worked out. I was so surprised. I was like, oh my gosh. Now we're not saying, this is what people have to understand. We are not saying that CJ is going to be better than a Luce Philip pairing, okay? That's not what we're saying. We're not necessarily saying CJ is better to pair with BQ than Luce. That's not what we're saying. However, we are saying that if you're running BQ with William Wallace, then you got to look at yourself and say, okay, I've got to run Luce, and I've been running him with Alex, or I'm running him with Philip. Well, all of a sudden now you can bring CJ into play. You can bring CJ into play, and then from there, you can move your Philip somewhere else. And so that frees up a few things. If you're going to run 3 infantry marches, okay? If you're going to run 2 infantry marches and you're currently sitting here going, okay, well, what do I want to run? And I want to keep BQ and Luce together. Can I run Wallace with CJ? Absolutely, you can. He brings so much capabilities and so much versatilities that CJ gives you another Smite option. I'm not saying he's meta. I'm not saying he's part of the best 2 infantry marches. I'm just saying that you can now use him because a lot of players are using 3 infantry marches now. They're going with a Ragnar CPO, they're going with a BQ with Wallace, and then Luce with Alex, or BQ with Wallace and then Luce with Philip. Or they're running BQ with LC with Luce, and then they're trying to figure out what to do with that 3rd march. I've got 3 infantry gear sets. I want to run 3 infantry. So now all of a sudden CJ comes into play, and I'm going to tell you, here's the kind of the proclamation that we're making, is that I think CJ's better than Alex with Luce. And so he does AoE. He does like a little silence on there. He's got a good damage mitigation with his 50%. And he does the cleansing. You got to remember that. So he's clearing debuffs. And he's got that instant proc, the instant proc that he does that translates into damage. You know, the expertise is really, really good when you can actually do an AoE instant proc, a 50 damage factor. That's pretty good. That works out pretty good. And so with that being said, people need to consider testing this guy out with LC. If you're running LC with Alex, test him out, see how he does. See how he does in your murder ball. See how he does overall for everything that you've got going on. We all love Alex. Like, listen, I love Alex. I love LC Alex. And I think he's still got, to this day, one of the best debuffs in the game. 30% more normal damage for 4 seconds on 3 enemy targets. Okay, well, here's the deal. If CJ fires off, let's say that debuff is being put on CJ, and you've literally got a chance. Where is it at here? Here it is. Okay. You have a 100% trigger chance. Okay. Whenever it launches a basic attack in the field troop, you have a 100% chance to cleanse. You're going to cleanse every 4 seconds. Every 4 seconds. So any kind of debuff that's being put on the CJ is going to cleanse. And as we know, cleanse effect from active skills can be prevented from the silence effect. Okay, cleanse effect from the passive skills can take effect no matter what. So the passive skills can take effect no matter what. Okay, cleanse effect from active skills can be prevented by the silenced effect. Okay, so from there you got to understand that is very, very potent and powerful. Just like we ran Herman with this thing, when we were running Herman, you just saw those stacks go up and then they went down. The Herman stacks went to like 6, then it went to 5, then it went to 7, then it went to 6, then 5, then 4, then it went to 6, then it went down. And it couldn't ramp up the stacks because of the cleanse. It was really pretty cool how CJ worked. So we had some different reports here. I'm gonna come over here and look at these. We've got a couple of them. Okay, let me find some CJ ones that were pretty good. Okay, this was a CJ against that Zuge Herman. This is Cortex. He's running Zuge Herman. He knows how to run the archers, and BQ with CJ is really doing well against him. It's even doing better on this one. It's doing pretty good on this one. So we've got some good effects there. We actually put Bert behind Arthur because we need to completely debunk this Bert thing, and it's absolutely wrecking Arthur and Bert. Okay, and so we'll get into the Bert stuff here in just a few, but we actually ran it head to head, and look what the CJ with BQ did against BQ and Alex. And then I had mentioned when it came to moles, okay, he was running this, and these were just straight Luce, CJ, Luce, Alex, straight up head to head. Now, Alex isn't the best dueling commander, but you could say the same thing for CJ. He's an AoE commander, okay? So even though Alex is more of a buffing and debuffing commander, CJ with instant proc, CJ is an AoE commander of Smite with an instant proc. So they're kind of the same. So Moles was running this and he beat the Luce with Alex. We ran it again and he beat it by even more. Okay, CJ's legit, y'all. Like, so if you're running Luce and Alex and you have CJ, just consider it. I am not saying to go invest in CJ. I'm not saying to put any heads into CJ, but he is very, very relevant. So that's what we saw. And we even had some more of these reports where they were running 2v2s and 3v3s, and the CJ just wrecking. Just absolutely wrecking, having no problem with the marches and enhancing it to where the 3v3 was always going to win on the CJ side, and the 2v2 was always going to win on the CJ side. It was really quite incredible to see. And so from that standpoint, when you look at this overall, you're saying, okay, CJ good. How good? Nah, we don't really know. Is he part of the meta 2 marches for infantry? No, absolutely not. But he's good. And if you're going to run 3 infantry marches, you might want to consider him, you know, because I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I'm going to run 3 infantry marches. Well, I can move my Philip behind my Attila, which I would love to do if I just had something else to put with my Smite commanders. And now I've got CJ, or I'll have him max, but we were able to do this in a balanced arc to where we could have every commander max, and we could have all the gear, all the troops, all the armaments, everything. So when it came to Bert, okay, we ran Bert as well. Okay, and let's just go through this. And this is why Bert does not work. All right. And when I saw this, I said the same thing. Now, listen, I get that it's catchy because you can actually put a combo commander with Arthur, okay? And there's some synergies there. Obviously, you take advantage of the Delta effect, but the damage just isn't high enough. Okay, it's just not high enough. We're doing 1200 damage factor because this is, you're going to hit 3 enemy troops, but you're going to hit it with 2 combo attacks of 600. So you're doing 1200 damage factor as opposed to CJ's 1500 damage factor. Okay, and he does have some cool rage reduction stuff that he's doing, but just not enough damage. It's just not. And his AoE is like William the Conqueror. It's like a single tunnel rectangle AoE. That's like a landing strip. And it's harder to hit more troops with that, but he can do it, and it gives us something I guess we could put with Arthur. This commander's unit gains 10% attack, 10% health, 10% march speed, and it takes 5% less damage. Those are all, I'm not kidding, those are all like Pelagius level buffs. Okay, that doesn't really mean anything. 10% attack, fine. 10% health, yeah, that's better. 10% march speed on cavalry, that's nothing. 5% less damage, okay, that's okay. I mean, it's just not a big deal. I would give that like a C+ if I had to rank what kind of tier of a passive skill that is, okay? Over here, you're looking at when you're outside of territory, you deal 10% more normal damage. That's really good. It's going to enhance your combo damage that you're doing now with him. And whenever your troop launches a basic attack, it has a 25% chance to launch a combo attack, but a damage factor of 200. So now he's got an instant proc of 200. So if we were like comparing that to CJ's running more AoE, 1500 damage factor. Meanwhile, Bertrand's running 1200 damage factor. That's off their active skill. And then CJ's running an AoE 3 target with 500 damage factor for his proc. Meanwhile, Bert runs just one target for 200, up to 400 now if you get this expertise. That's so much less. That's so much less. All of a sudden, when you look at this, like Bertrand on his active skill and his proc is literally doing like 35% less damage than CJ. And that's make or break when it comes to SOC. You can't run that in SOC. You cannot, not with the other combinations we have with Arthur. You can't be running this stuff. Okay, the fourth skill, if this commander's troop is attacking a field troop, whenever it deals combo damage, it has a 20% chance to increase the rage requirement. Now that's a lot of fun. Increasing the rage requirement by 200, okay? You're increasing the rage requirement by 200, and if this is already in effect for 5 seconds and you do another combo attack and you get that to proc again, you're going to take 20 rage from them. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. That's a cool little mechanic. I love increasing the rage requirement. It really helps kind of halfway silence them. You know, it basically takes longer for them to hit their active skill, your enemy, but just honestly, that's not enough. Now, if that was like 100 rage from them, it drains, okay? And you got to remember, this is the drain effect, okay? So you get, for the duration of the effect, reduces the enemy's attributes and increases your own. So you get 20% rage from them while draining 20 rage. I say 20%, just 20 rage. And if this was like 50 or 100, okay, now we'd be cooking. If I could steal 50 rage, or if I could steal 100 rage from the enemy, that would be amazing with the 200 increase of the active skill requirement. Okay, so right now that's still pretty good, I guess. I would give it a B plus, maybe a B as far as the skill goes. And then his expertise, you take 5% less damage, and their troops deal 10% more combo damage to troops with less than 60% units remaining. That's a garbage expertise. This doesn't mean anything. I mean, you could do without this. Okay, so we ran Bert to try to kind of figure it out. And this is what we found, okay? Bert just gets absolutely manhandled and crushed. And this is with full-on gear, full-on Delta formation, and it just gets absolutely manhandled. We're running those with Arabian calves. I mean, it is just getting obliterated by BQ with Luce. I ran it with William Wallace. William Wallace actually performed a little bit better, but Bert is just, gets rocked. Okay, and so from that standpoint, we were trying to figure out if this Bert thing was going to work. And just to give you an idea, when it comes to like BQ with CJ, we were actually seeing that do much better as far as how this thing worked out. Like, look at this, we're only getting beat by 7,000 sevs, less than 7,000 sevs. Meanwhile, Bert's getting beat by almost 36,000 sevs. What? So do not run Bert. Don't invest in him. Let's try to make Bert work. Okay, I will tell you this. I will agree to this. I would say Bert would be a really good commander. Maybe putting him in your 3 March lineup, because right now there ain't no way. There's too many good commanders out there. And with Arthur, we've got William the Conqueror, we've got Philip, we've got multiple marches. If you're not going to run Philip or William the Conqueror secondary to Arthur, you just put Arthur behind Huo and go wreck everything as a skill damage march. But if you gave this, if this said 750 or 800, and you were doing it to 3 targets, 750 would basically, that's 2 combo attacks, be 1,500. If you gave it the same damage factor that CJ has on his active skill in AoE, okay, you might really want to take a look at that. And if you want to ramp this up to maybe 50 rage reduction from the enemy, okay, for the targets plural lose, That would be good. So like 750 and 50 would be much better. Over here, give us like 30% attack. Keep the health at 10%. Keep this at 10%. And then give us like a 10% reduction in damage. Or give us 20% attack and 20% health. That would be a much better situation. And that's not hard to do. It's not outrageous. I do like the normal damage bonus of 10%. I'm fine with that. Now, if you're going to do a combo attack on the enemy and it's a damage factor of 400, okay, make that damage factor like 500 or 600 and make this chance go way up to like a 50% chance to launch a combo attack, because maybe you can launch that more than one time in that second. Okay, it can trigger multiple times. And so with that being said, that might be a better way to go. And then over here, the 200 rage requirement increase, that's fine, keep that. But then if you're going to do a drain effect on the rage, then make it 50 or 100. That would be much better. And then over here, if you took 10% less damage and you did 20% more combo damage, or if you got a stipulation there with 60% of units remaining, make that 30% more combo damage. Then all of a sudden, he would be a commander you could consider using. But right now, that's not the way that's going to work out. And so Bertrand, absolute no. CJ is a maybe, and he's pretty good. So that's why the title of the video is going to be CJ good, Bertrand bad, and really, really pleasantly surprised by how that stuff worked out. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to throw a thumbs up and like it, okay? And if you like the channel and everything that we do here, be sure to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And we want to bring you this content as much as we can, as best we can. And hopefully from this update, that was a big update. We got Crystal Tech situation going on. I've already done a video about this. We got all this stuff going on with Crystal Tech. That was really, really good. We've got transmutation stuff going on. That's really, really good. There's all kinds of things that have come out of this update that was really good. And it's the first time we've ever seen them change the characteristics of commanders to where CJ and Bertrand can be used as a Smite and combo commander respectively. And they're also going to be in KVK2. CJ and KVK2? Oh, give it to me. I'll take CJ and KVK2. He would be absolutely wonderful in KVK2. CJ with like a Pyrrhus? Like, let's go. You run CJ. And then where's our boy Pyrrhus? Is he up here somewhere? There he is. You let this dude go load up the normal damage? Like, give it to me. More normal damage? Okay. More normal damage? Okay. Like, run CJ behind this guy. Woo! Let that thing fire off in K2. So, that being said, I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you next time, broskies.